We've got a situation here where Columbus has gone to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella and asked for funding for his voyage that he wanted to take to get to what we know of now as the Americas. Well, what's the big deal about that? You got to understand, at that time, melanated people ruled. Albions were not ruling things. They weren't having land and ownership of funds and territory and all. They didn't have that. So they want you to, this Christopher Columbus character, and they weren't educated. This is in the Dark Ages. When you talk to these Moors, now they'll tell you who taught the Albion everything they know. And let me make it clear, because y'all go, Albion, what's the Albion? I don't know, never know. Yeah, that's so-called white people. They're not white. And y'all notice I do not call my melanated people black. Black means dead. My people not dead. Y'all not dead. You're gonna wake on up though. Y'all sleep. Some of y'all are asleep, but you're not dead, and I'm not gonna call you that. So understand that you've got this Christopher Columbus character who comes up with all of this knowledge. And again, in the Dark Ages, Albions weren't educated on astrology. Do you know how deep and entailed astrology is? It's hard to find somebody to teach you that today with any kind of ability to comprehend it, much less back then. So where did he get this education? This wasn't something that Albions was right their hands right on. It's not. Again, go do your research on what was going on in the Dark Ages and who taught the Albion everything they know. Now, if you're trying to read those history books they got in your public school, forget it. You got to do some deep researching on this. So now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because they want you to think Christopher Columbus was an Albion. But then when you read the books, you find he was selling with a lot of Jews, which were melanated people back then. Have you all remember with Palestine and how the Jews came in there, and there's this fighting that's still going on to this day, and how the Palestinians were saying, hey, you know what? The Jews left here dark skinned. How come they coming back here light skinned? Pay attention. Pay attention to what I'm telling you, because again, the history has been rewritten. And so what I'm trying to let you know is that the original Jews, they were dark skinned. Everybody's telling you this, but then if you go do your research and you start recognizing, first of all, that melanated people were running everything, that they were the original royalty was melanated people, but then we're going to come to understand that all melanated people are not the same. Just like all so-called Albions are not the same. They know who they are. And you wonder why you can't build, because you're trying to build with people who are not of you. And listen, this is not to say that you can't build with them, but if you're going to build with somebody, you have to understand their nature. You have to understand their spiritual essence and not be trying to judge somebody by the skin color. That's not how that works. Because some of y'all very well know, as much as this system is trying to make you hate Albions or light-skinned people, when it comes down to it, when you need somebody to back you up, yeah, y'all know it. Y'all been there. Y'all have seen it yourself. You know it was a light-skinned person that came to your rescue. You know that. But society is trying to make you believe something else. I ain't going into that today. I'm just telling you what the facts are so you can go and look this up for yourself. All right. So now we're understanding that we've got these, Christopher Columbus, who they're trying to make him out to be an Albion or a light-skinned person when he's got knowledge. He's also asking them to fund a trip where he can put together a crew of people and to buy these ships. Now, listen to me. If you have never sailed before, if you don't have knowledge of astrology, and you can't demonstrate to me that you have the ability to do this task that you're about to do, don't come to me asking me for enough money to buy you a great big boat and have you a crew. And I'm not going to give you that money. Why I'm saying that is because he had to have sailed before. He had to have done these kind of missions before. And again, when we're talking about astrology, that's things that Moors knew. Moors, M-O-O-R-S. And I need y'all to understand that Moors, and listen to me because I'm going to upset somebody, but you can bite these nuts. These nuts, right here, bite them. Find the link in the bio. Moors has nothing to do with skin color. It has everything to do with a job done on a ship. Look up mooring, mooring, and moored, moored. These people who were doing this sailing, because they were sailors on boats and ships, they ended up being called Moors. And see, this is how you know. Ask your Moor friends. Go ask them. Well, was this some white Moors, so-called white? Ask them. That's like, oh yeah, that was Moors. Well then, why you telling me the term Moor has to do with skin color? If you telling me it's some white Moors, it doesn't make sense, because that's not what Moor means. Moor means somebody who did a job on a ship, the vast majority of which were melanated people. So this term, they started calling the people coming off these ships Moors, but it was not a term of endearment. They didn't mean it in a nice way. Like, here come the Moors, like, you know, pirates and land-stealing thieves. Moors. So here we got these Moors, or barbaric. And I know y'all want to feel like, oh, we melanated people. The Moors were good people. They would never. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Go read history and find out what went on. And then you'll hear people using terms like, oh, the dirty Moors. Look, all I know is Moors. All right, you call it dirty, clean, whatever you want to call it. The term Moor had to do with people who did a job on a ship. All right. So now we're understanding this. These people they sail to the Americas, and here's Columbus on this ship. And I'm just saying to you, this is a large responsibility. And he had to have money to have sailed in the past. Well, where did he get that from as an Albion? Albions didn't have access to that. So I'm saying to you that this notion, by the way, let me say this to you also. Columbus, the reason why he wanted to leave is because he was either a Jew or a Muslim. Now, I read different texts. Some of the text says he's a Jew. Some of the text says he was a Muslim. But either way, those were two melanated groups of people. Because when you talk about the Muslims, these are people who coming from the Israelite tribe. When you talk about Jews, these people coming from the Israelite tribe. So both of those groups, whichever one, he was one of them. And he was a convert, which is why I told you he wanted to leave Spain and find another land so his people could go to and not be persecuted because of their religious beliefs, which he was either a Jew or Muslim and had to convert. All right. So now we understanding this. This couldn't have been this was highly unlikely to be an Albion or a so-called light-skinned or white person. This wasn't a light-skinned person. This was a Moor, a melanated person.